Alrighty, audio test. 1, 2, 3. Okay. To my understanding, we are transmitting with decency. Back looking at cryptocurrency currently here on the Engineering Robo channel. Back doing it live. Let's transition over, swap here. Bitcoin on the screen, price action to be seen sideways, still holding along horizontal level to consider. $18,860 down below here. Still technically support for us until daily candles open and close with wicks and bodies beneath it. Then we can potentially consider resistance at this level and perhaps anticipate continued moves to the downside here. Lower levels to watch out for, visualized a swing high made back in 2017 here, $17,176 per Bitcoin. Down below waiting for us as a potential level of support for us, though technically $16,188 down below is a more significant technical level to consider as potential support waiting for us if we fail to hold current support level present here locally. Bearish Robos in play, technically ever since the 20th of September here. Engineering Robo returning to a bearish state, slightly unsightly. Not that ideal for us here, though we go with the flow of our Robo confirmations during this highly volatile, uncertain situation. With bearish Robos in mind, we can anticipate continued sideways and or downside until bullish Robos were to return. Overhead resistance here, technically 2017 all-time highs, $19,800 per Bitcoin is overhead waiting to give us a hard time. Hopefully we can get back above it here, re-solidify that level as support. That would be very bullish here for us in the short term. Perhaps we can see another brief relief rally toward resistance overhead. Some upside in the short term here for us would be nice to see here. Some exit pumps, capitalize on any sort of coins anyone's been holding on to here during the downside. They'll watch out for a slightly more midterm-ish downtrend in play, suggested perhaps by the overhead solid downtrend line waiting for us as resistance when and if we get to it. Though down below, currently, as I mentioned, we need current interaction. Currently, as I mentioned, we need continued bullish interaction with 18,860 locally here. We're going to jump over to the fear and FOMO zones, go over that briefly, and look over two scenarios that may suggest why we've either bottomed currently, like this is the bottom for Bitcoin, or a very dramatic $10,000 Bitcoin could present itself here for us here before we return to previous all-time highs that we came from not too long ago. So right now, continued sideways. Watch out for consolidation along support. We are in a higher low state if we can maintain price action above the low of the 18th of June here of this year. It would appear $17,622 per Bitcoin, just above both of my visualized horizontal levels. If we can stay sort of here pretty much where we are, but above 17K there kinda, we would still maintain our higher low state, further suggesting the bottom present, though if a lower low is formed, that would suggest a continuation of the downtrend. But looking for continued support, bullish Robos to return in a bit of a downtrend here. Bullish confirmations have seen 50 to 42% gains here ever since 2021, though since all-time highs, 44 and 58% corrections have occurred following bearish Robo advisors hopefully we can hold, though we go with the flow of our robos confirmations no matter the situation. Break our investments up into 3 different ratios: the 20% support based investment ratio, 30% downtrend line based investment ratio, and that remaining 50% of your investment, whatever amount allocated, is invested based on our robo advisors. Pick 3 that best suit your strategy. Once 2 of your chosen 3 enter a bullish or bearish state, you can act accordingly. Though, swapping over to the fear and FOMO zones here, we can quickly go over why we are either at the bottom right now, or we could briefly experience a very bullish buy opportunity for long-term investors. Right now, you are suggested to be accumulating Bitcoin here technically, though why we can consider a $10,000 Bitcoin has to do with the 84% correction that occurred the previous time we saw the FOMO zone, that 2017 all-time high that we have visualized here, that we are currently returning to. Maybe if I make this a more distinguishable color there, perhaps. So there's that $19,800 level here, 2017 all-time highs that we are returning to after printing local all-time highs here back in 2021, $69,000 per Bitcoin, an 84% correction from our most recent all-time high would bring us very close to that $10,000 Bitcoin. So perhaps that is where that price comes from, if you've heard that anywhere online. A $10,000 Bitcoin would be rather dramatic for us in the short term here, would shake out many, though would be an extremely bullish buying opportunity in the long term here. As we can see, this is the 3rd fear zone interaction ever since printing aforementioned 2017 all-time highs. That 84% correction that occurred previously, leading us into the fear zone here. Both previous times that we've entered this range, a 45% correction occurs, and then sideways anywhere from a month and a half to over 170 days plays out. Long-term accumulation could occur during this time, with the more broad uptrend in mind here. 2 bullish buy opportunities for the fear zone between 2018, 2019, and then briefly in 2020. Passing to and through all-time highs, getting close to the FOMO zone, not interacting with it, getting close to it. We have yet to touch it, though exhausting here briefly, making its way back downward, re-entering the fear zone for the 3rd time, experiencing that 45% correction that has occurred twice previously. So if that were to continue to hold, then we have experienced the bottom, though, as I mentioned, that 84% correction is something to keep in mind here if we fail to get back above 19,800. While a $10,000 Bitcoin is not impossible, I do believe that is rather unlikely here for us because we have not seen the FOMO zone. The FOMO zone is an area where longer-term investors would be taking profit on their investments here, accumulating during the extreme lows here in the fear zone, waiting for a better range to take profit here. The FOMO zone is where you can capitalize on longer-term gains. An interaction with the fear zone would definitely add to the significance of the rejection following it, and that would perhaps correlate with an 84% correction. If we just came from the FOMO zone overhead, then I would be more inclined to believe an 84% correction would occur. Though since we haven't yet, this seems to be just another 45%, tens to over 100 plus days of sideways here. Time for accumulation here for us in the long term. Investors should be buying here during times of extreme fear, picking up their heavily discounted digital assets. So keep in mind the FOMO zone still overhead up near $200,000 per Bitcoin, a far more reasonable level for you to consider taking profits, capitalizing on your longer term gains here. Watch out for extreme volatility here during times of extreme fear. Go oh no when Robo says there's FOMO, but this is a time to be buying Bitcoin, in my opinion. Fundamentally, I do believe Bitcoin do go up, though what go up must go not up sometimes. And then when it is not go up, you buy. Though when has already go up, sell. Buy low, sell high. Nobody knows why. Oh yeah, anyway, so FOMO zone interactions, we last time we saw it 130% in gains up into that range, though selling anywhere up into that zone was a rather decent take profit opportunity. Buying anywhere here in the fear zone is, in my opinion, a very bullish buy opportunity. But this has been Bitcoin. Let's swap over to Ethereum here real quick. We'll keep it crypto today, unless anyone were to suggest anything they'd like to see analyzed or gone over. Any coin, company, or commodity, an index, perhaps. What did I use for Ethereum? Pretty sure it was this. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Boom. So this is Ethereum. Price action. Bouncing off of my mystical magical box of socks and rocks, we have $1,200 per Ethereum acting as potential support here for us. A bullish bounce off of it is nice to see. It was visualized just a few days before we got to it. So if you were able to trade during that time, then good on you. Watch out for short-lived upside here moving forward as we make our way toward potential resistance overhead. $1,400 per Ethereum. $1,419 is my horizontal level to consider as resistance waiting for us. Bearish Robos in play though, so you haven't been eager to jump back into Ethereum technically ever since the 19th of August was when EngineeringRobo first returned to a bearish state. Bullish Robo advisors back in July allowed EngineeringRobo members to experience 48% in gains on their Ethereum investments and were able to capitalize on anywhere from 18 to 25% ROI with bullish and bearish Robo advisors alone during times of extreme volatility here, though. EngineeringRobo members do utilize EngineeringRobo into their current trading strategy. So we do have trend lines and horizontal levels to consider along the way to capitalize on gains with, as well as our math-based Robo advisors. So bearish Robos ever since August there have saved investors anywhere from 22% in downside so far, and we are patiently waiting for the return of significant support to form here. Hopefully 1200 can hold, though 1000 is the horizontal level to consider down below here until bullish Robos return. With sell suggestions present here, we can't be too eager to jump back in. Looking at XRP, interacting above a support level. Let's rotate our Robos here. Let's use the combination of Robos that I prefer for XRP. So I use the buy for Golden Cross and Super Robos when trading XRP, and this combination of Robo advisors allowed you to experience 35% in upside from bullish confirmations alone as we open and close daily candles above what has now been confirmed as support down below 46 cents, which was previous resistance. You were suggested to wait for this support confirmation before considering investing that 20% support-based investment ratio. Technically, bullish robos here, daily candles opening and closing above this level, we can consider it as support until daily candles open and close beneath it. It would then return to resistance. Simple as that. That's why we only invest 20% at our support levels. Sometimes they hold, sometimes they don't. At the moment, 46 cents at this exact moment has been a bullish buying opportunity. So hopefully we can continue to see bullish interaction with the top side of this horizontal level to further solidify support along it. Overhead, watch out for 63 cents waiting for us and any sort of continued moves to the upside. More horizontal levels to consider along the way, in addition to a solid downtrend line. All factors of potential resistance to consider as we make our way upward here. With bullish robos in mind, feel free to take profits at all of these levels along the way. Nothing wrong with capitalizing on gains, though we can always remain partially invested until EngineeringRobo returns to a bearish state. Bearish robos back in February of this year saved investors from 58% in downside just here recently. So going with the flow of crypto here, watching out for our robos. 46 cents is the new support forming if you were unable to get into XRP near 30 cents, where if you were following the channel, you were suggested to only after seeing bullish interactions with it on June. We were suggesting returning to that level and then continuing to see support. That would be the bullish buy opportunity, because 25 cents was the more significant horizontal level to consider as support. Solidifying 30 cents occurred on the 13th of July there after several weeks of price action above it. But that was XRP. We have XLM falling back above its still current resistance level. I think this was the combination of robos we used. So interesting set of circumstances here, it would appear. Bullish robo advisors coming into play at resistance, similar to here recently during this sideways on the 7th of August. You know, a quick 14% move to the upside did occur after bullish robos. This time, though, only 8% occurred briefly before making its way downward here. And so we do get in and out based on EngineeringRobo's confirmation. So you have been heavily considering investing your 50% EngineeringRobo based investment ratio based on these bullish confirmations, because these are bullish confirmations, though we have to go with the flow of other factors as well to consider. Bitcoin has been in a bearish state for a little bit now. So any sort of downside that Bitcoin experiences does affect all other coins available. So if you see bullish robos coming into play at resistance, or if Bitcoin is at resistance, we heavily consider getting in based on robo advisors, because certain coins, if you look at the coin against Bitcoin, you could see if it's going to gain against it or not. We always be sure to be ready to jump in when bullish robos are coming into play. Though always consider potential short-term moves to the downside here if Bitcoin is acting up and trying to figure itself out. Once Bitcoin stabilizes and solidifies a range of sideways that it can trade along for a semi-extended period of time, by that I mean several days, then altcoins can have price action against Bitcoin. So lots going on here. It would appear, as I mentioned, bullish robos in play. Watch out for continued gains, though we will have to get back above 11 cents overhead. Watch out for 0.1185, waiting to give us a hard time, actually still giving us a hard time, until daily candles can open and close with wicks and bodies above it, then confirming it as support here. Moving forward, it is still resistance. Down below, though, 10 cents pretty much is a potential area of support here waiting for us if we make our way back downward. We just came from it, bullish interaction with it throughout September here so far. Nice to see, though down below, any sort of continued downside that occurs, watch out for 8 cents, the stronger technical horizontal level to consider waiting for us down below. Bearish Robos here locally saving us from a 50% correction. Bullish Robos here experiencing 60 and 22% pumps here during our most recent downside. This downtrend still in play ever since swing highs back in May of 2021. Perhaps once we get above this solid downtrend line overhead, we can more freely experience some moves to the upside here. Right now, significant resistance overhead. Bullish Robos are nice to see, though we need a few more confirmations to come into play here before we can more comfortably and confidently consider extended gains for XLM. Cardano we can look at briefly. I believe these are the Robos. I want to say yes. Cardano EngineeringRobo members were able to double and a half their money between July of 2021 into September of that year with bullish Robos, and bearish Robo advisors have saved investors from some very dramatic downside that has continued to occur ever since interacting with that $3 level. 67, 28, and 45% corrections following bearish engineering robo confirmations. Coming back into play here recently, bearish robo advisors returning as we interact along resistance overhead. 46 cents giving us a hard time at the moment. Down below, visualize potentially 40 cents as potential support, though 34 cents will be the most significant horizontal level to consider as potential support in any sort of continued downside. We can only hope to hold along 40 there. So going with the flow of Robos, watch out for support and resistance as we YOLO. Overhead downtrend line here giving us a hard time still, suggesting that downtrend in play. Aforementioned significant resistance overhead and unsightly bearish Robos present. So downside is to be considered, perhaps shorting opportunities presenting themselves as we speak. Let's consider coin market cap. Just look at some trending price action, trending coins here. What's really going on? One moment though, technical difficulties. Okay, my apologies. We are back here looking at the crypto market. Nobody knows where it's going to go or how it started. Bitcoin trading sideways here, hopefully finding support along key levels visualized. We need some volume to come back into play. That would be nice to see. Remember when we were like $1 trillion alone for Bitcoin? Now it's like not even half $1 trillion. Only a measly 366 billion, roughly the price of a medium latte. Ethereum, just over 150 billion, 162 billion dollar market cap, trading relatively sideways as well, hoping to find support along its magical visualized box. Tether still being Tether, returning to its $1 status. It wasn't at one point. Everybody was worried. USDC returning to $1 as well. It briefly wasn't, though it happens. If you look at some of the top movers this week, XRP, as we know, presenting some very bullish gains. Algo Rand experiencing 17.9% in gains this week. RSR holders, 42% in upside this week. Some bullish gains to capitalize on if you've been holding RSR. We can check out Algo Rand if you want technically here. Hopefully we have it charted. I don't think. Do we like this? Do we like this chart? Do we like this chart? Not really. It's been a while since we've looked at Algo Rand clearly. You know what? It's not bad. But okay, visualized support down below though here potentially. We got to add a few more levels to this. Let's see if we can find some support levels. I mean, this seems to be a potential key level here for us. We can also have this to consider as well. Okay, perfect. Now, what robos, though? Trying to find the best combination of robo advisors that would work here. And we might have just found it. Okay. And I guess pretty much, yeah, wow. So Algo Rand trending downward here ever since interacting with that $2.53 level. EngineeringRobo members experiencing 181% in upside throughout 2021 there after bullish Robo advisors. Bearish confirmations here have saved investors from losing roughly 84% of their investment, just about all of your money lost, holding on to Algo Rand with bearish robos in play. With bullish robo advisors returning at resistance here, unfortunately, slightly unsightly technically, with the cloud buy confirmed on the 22nd of September, correlating with the buy 4 returning on the 20th of September. You are heavily considering investing your 50% EngineeringRobo based investment ratio, though keep in mind resistance overhead and Bitcoin in a bearish state, so that would lead to short-term volatility downside following your entries relative to those confirmations. But with bullish robos in mind, we can potentially anticipate move to the upside here, though we can get more comfortably confident on gains for Algo Rand once we have confirmed 38 cents as support. At the moment, it is overhead as resistance until daily candles can open and close with wicks and bodies above it. But potential support down below we just came from 29 cents, down below 25 cents as well. watching out for continued interaction with these levels. Oh, I guess we are missing a downtrend line. That would be the missing key here. We can get a more broad downtrend visualized with this, and then perhaps a local downtrend we're interacting with, visualized as such. We'll make it a dashed. As we all know, not a fan of the dashed downtrend lines here locally, but we can see freeing ourselves from it did correlate with this short-term moves to the upside here. So, I mean, support found at 29 cents. If you had that level visualized prior, you were able to accumulate along it, seeing my resistance level overhead, capitalize on potentially 32% ROI with support and resistance strategy. Though with bullish robos in mind, watch out for continued move to the upside. If bearish robos were to return, we can then watch out for shorting opportunities. But that has been Algo Rand. Jumping back over to CoinMarketCap, let's look at some of the coins that haven't performed too well this week. Ton Coin, TON holders down 16% this week. Leo down more than 11.5% this week, and Ravencoin down more than 10% as well, just about 10.5% in downside this week. So relatively normal for crypto, in my opinion. I know stocks and commodities aren't doing too well at the moment as well, though this is a pretty regular day for crypto if you are in crypto. Near Protocol, EOS, Cosmos. I mean, what would be? I don't know. What would be the most like relevant coin here to consider? I mean, maybe Ravencoin, perhaps. Perhaps let's look at Ravencoin. Okay. Price action. We got levels to consider. Apparently already have charted this. Are these any good though? These levels aren't terrible. Okay, I guess, yeah. I guess these levels aren't the worst. But I can change these robos. Doodly doo. Going with the flow yos. Okay, this is not that ideal combination. Maybe that cloud was pretty good. No, it wasn't. Okay, well, anyway. EngineeringRobo trying to come into play during all of this downside here. Buy suggestions have led to kind of mini pumps during this downside. The most significant move to the upside was made back in July of 2021 here, kind of more recently, other than very recently, but before this downtrend ensued. Bullish confirmations from EngineeringRobo allowed investors to experience 171% move to the upside, and bearish confirmations here have saved us from some rather unsightly corrections that have occurred. We can see 37% in downside following bearish robos. You can see another 46% correction following bearish suggestions. 67% to the downside following bearish robo advisors. Bullish combination of robos coming into play here allowed you to experience 57% in gains here in the short term here, and then another bullish pump from buy suggestions. 100% to the upside, doubling your money with EngineeringRobo. Bearish robos here returning, so as we can see, EngineeringRobo having a hard time during this price action, Lots of traders getting in and out of this coin, so much so that it's triggering these buy and sell suggestions. So, these are some extreme price movements. Lots of volatility for this coin, it would appear. Volume coming in and out of the project randomly. Sell suggestions in mind. We need bullish Robos to return. Hopefully we can hold along potential support near 3 cents present, 0.03641, though down below in the 2 cent level, technically 0.02975 is my horizontal level to consider as potential support in any sort of moves downward here. Overhead resistance 6 cents all the way up to like 7 cents waiting for us, as well as that solid downtrend line. But this has been Raven coin. Lots going on here for this project. Maybe some fundamentals occurring, leading or correlating with this upside. Perhaps this is leading toward a sell the news event. Maybe there's a rumor going around for this project that people are, getting in based on. Though whenever it becomes mainstream and we start hearing about whatever this news is, maybe the coin will dump further. Buy the rumor, sell the news situation, perhaps. It's kind of like a fundamental thing. It's not really. It's kind of like a fundamental analysis kind of spectrum. It's not really technical aspects that could suggest when when news is going to be released, kind of thing, unless you're an insider trader. But that's illegal. Anyway, this has been crypto. In today's stream, we went over like Bitcoin. We did technical levels. We did the fear and FOMO zones. We saw Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, XLM. We just did Algo Rand. This is Raven coin. Let's take a quick look at the indexes here. I know everybody's in extreme fear. We have confirmed sell suggestions returning here on the weekly chart for the S and also P500. Resistance now overhead waiting to be confirmed. Watch out for 38.12. We need to get back above it this week to potentially find support along it again. Visualized here near current price levels as potential support, though probably not. 32.36 waiting for us. 29.52 along the way as well. We need bullish Robos to return. The Dow and also Jones been in a bearish state, looking for support along current price levels, though waiting for us if we do continue downward here. 26.306 for the Dow Jones. The DXY continuing to barrel towards 119, where it may finally plateau. Hopefully, hopefully the U.S. dollar can chill the heck out here, relax a little bit. Maybe silver took a dive. That's why the British pound has been doing the bed, maybe. Also, other fundamental aspects with traditional currencies. Don't know too much about all that jazz, but technically here, bullish confirmations, bullish Robos in play ever since July for EngineeringRobo members. DXY pumping here. Support down below 109. As I mentioned, 119 to watch out for in any sort of continued upward moves here. And why we consider the DXY is because it has an inverse correlation with asset prices. So far, Bitcoin has been handling this most recent upside for the DXY quite well, in my opinion. Most other assets will trade downward here or experience some volatility as the value of monopoly money increases. But here, as you can imagine, remember November of 2021, 69 nice $1,000 per Bitcoin. That was like here. Bitcoin has trended downward since then. The DXY has trended upward since then. Hence, inverse correlation. Gold trading downward, falling beneath previous support level 1680 overhead now as resistance. Bearish Robos in play ever since May, so we haven't been eager to get into gold anyway. Support down below 1572. or 1486 in any sort of dramatic downward price action. But yeah, I think we will look to wrap it up here. It would appear, unless anybody has anything you'd like to see on the screen, any coin, company, or commodity you'd like me to go over or consider here, we can. Though we are approaching the end of the show. We've gone over a whole bunch so far. We've done the regular, done the usual, Bitcoin, Ethereum. We did XRP, XLM. We just hit up some indexes, the S&P, the Dow Jones. Covered gold there. And yeah. Hopefully we hold along current support levels. Support is nice to see, though we need the buy suggestions to return. I mean, if we zoom in, we can get a different perspective on Bitcoin. I don't like this. Okay. If we zoom in, super buy, that's nice. The moon is still in play on the 3-hour time frame ever since the 19th of September there, around 11 a.m. We had that moon Robo advisor come into play. The sell for showing up during this sideways while the moon is holding, some unorthodox price action to consider here. Super buy coming into play today, though, more recently. In my opinion, I want to see that buy for return and the moon to hold, correlating with that super buy. Then we could perhaps see some short-term sort of upward price action here, so much so that we could see bullish confirmations back on the daily chart. That is what we're waiting for here before we can really get into some swing trades perhaps, and anticipate moves back into the mid 20s, perhaps high 20s. So far, bearish robos at support here is a very particular combination to watch out for, and so you want to be you want to really have an eye on the charts here, as we are at a key level of significance with robo advisors in play that does add to the volatility. Oh, hey, we see you in the chat there. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you being a part of the stream. We thank you for joining in. We hope to see you in the next one. We're glad that you can get some value out of it, the use out of it. I'm still working on my ability to teach and explain things that I know. Big ups to teachers. That's definitely not something that I'm too well adversed at, as you can see, with all of my uhs and ums. But it comes with time. It's a skill like any other. But thank you so much for being a part of it. We hope you enjoy. But anyway, I do believe this has been me looking at cryptocurrency, what's going on in the economy. Doodly do and doodly dee. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the stream yet again. Greatly appreciate it. If you missed out, because the time zone differences, we're such a diverse team here on the EngineeringRobo team. We're going to be back at it before you know it, here to do it all again. Hope you had a good time making money online using EngineeringRobo. It'll all be fine. I got the rhymes, not a rapper. Anyway, timer's going off and whatnot, alarms going off and things ringing. Everything's collapsing, exploding. This is the outro. I'm outroing. I don't know how to end this. Other than, I'm going to end this. Oh, just kidding.